What's the matter, Parramatta?
That's a bloody good game, bro.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Great game.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our great friends at Top Sport, onelittlefootyfan.com.au, the Stubby Club, and Rooks Entertainment.
Parramatta lost to the Tigers.
Yeah.
Oh, what a week it's been.
What a week it has been. A great week of rugby league.
Arguably the best week all season of rugby league.
Yeah.
2-3 close games. Saw premiership contenders fall away.
Yeah. We saw some premiership contenders emerge, and a couple of premiership contenders just plateau.
Just fizzle out a little bit. It's a great week, mate. Good, bad, indifferent. Rugby league, it always delivers.
Yeah, now look, the news coming out, it's we've always had the chicken wing, the crusher. Now we've got the hip drop.
Yeah, it's a tough one to identify because we saw two on the weekend that were penalised. There was one charge and it was a pittance fine, so...
Look, the definition of the hip drop is exactly what Tyrell Fuimeano did. He actually hit around the hips and then dropped onto the legs. Yeah. Nathan Cleary didn't do that. Nathan Cleary tripped him and it just got awkward.
Yeah, it was an awkward fall.
Yeah.
Now, it looked terrible on replay because, as you said, it was awkward. And he's hooked the leg round and he's brought him down, but it wasn't a hip drop.
No, it wasn't a hip drop. I'm glad that we didn't get the reactionary suspension out of it from the NRL, but... it did happen to the Panthers. No suspension happened, and now people are going, the Panthers are protected species. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, in terms of the incident, I don't think it was a suspension. A fine at worst, a penalty. Okay, it was awkward, so be it. You had a second look, you think, that's not a hip drop. Third look, there's not really a whole lot in that. He wasn't injured, sort of okay. You're right, though. Every time a top team gets a decision, you got... the journos that jump on, if this was a big club, if this was a small club. Yeah. And then you see an error go against the smaller clubs. It's become a thing because we've let it become a thing.
That's not a definition, that's not a hip drop, but it was ugly.
It was ugly, yeah.
It deserved a penalty. They didn't get one. But Nathan Cleary, he deserved to lose the $1,000.
Look, he certainly did. And if he wants to give us $1,000 each for backing him, we're in. But now, I want to pull up Terry. I can't.
The Cam McInnes one was absolutely horrific. Ryan Pappenhausen gets his foot caught underneath the body. A penalty is given. Melbourne score off the momentum that they get from it. Cam McInnes isn't even fined.
That wasn't cited. They're like, are you kidding me? That's not...
That was a terrible call. That was a terrible...
Should not have been a penalty.
But this is the thing. This is the issue that I have now, Dan, is that any time we go into a tackle, just clutch something. Yeah. You're going to get a penalty.
Mate, it's exactly... I said on the weekend that it's schoolyard rules. Anytime someone gets hurt, it's a penalty. Yep. That's how we played the school. Someone falls over, it's a free kick. Make it feel better. That's what it felt like. Now... nothing against Pappenhausen because his leg got caught and it looked like it hurt. And he's under no obligation to play injured for the rest of the game. The referee said play on.
The referee said play.
They went to the bunker and he looked at it twice and said, that's a hip drop. That's the issue I have.
And the worst part was Cam McInnes got put on report. So not only was it a penalty, but he was put on report for the NRL judiciary to have a look at it. They probably took one look at it and went, what the hell is this?
Yeah, why are you bothering? No fine, nothing. Now, they could have fined him to keep up appearances. They didn't even do that. Disgusting refereeing decision, which we'll have more on later.
Yeah, now, Zach Lomax caused a little bit of...
everyone's best mate, Zach
controversy on the weekend. I had no problems with it.
Look, in terms of real-world problems, it's right down there. But in terms of, you're an idiot, Zach, don't do that. This is a bloke who's been named, and again, we'll discuss this later too, in the Origin reckoning. Now, whether or not he should be, I have my thoughts, and I know you do too.
I'm glad you brought Origin up, though, because do you remember when James Tedesco scored the match-winning try in the 20-all game, looked like it was going to go to Golden Point, and he, there's the break from Blake Ferguson, he passes it inside Tedesco, then goes and scores in the corner, wins the game.
I know where you're going with this, and I have a retort, please.
Tyson Frizzell ran in, jumped on Will Chambers, and brought him into the Blues celebration.
Look, technically yes, but he jumped and Chambers was just there. It was a real issue. Zach Lomax had 40 metres to run in and decide, and jumped on a player who was 10 metres from the scrum.
Look, fair play there. But, I mean... Tyson Frizzell's reaction was great. He body slammed him.
It was. He hooked him and the commentator said he got what he deserved.
The biggest problem I have with this is that David Clemmer had 20 minutes to level Zach Lomax or run at him or do something. Instead, he waited until full time when the camera was on him to, give him the eyes. Mate, you just lost to the Dragons.
Yeah, you should be looking at yourself in the mirror.
You should, don't worry about what Zach Lomax did. Go back in and have a look at your team's performance. That's diabolical.
It was. Now,
Yeah,
look,
Clemmer, that's a blemish on you, mate.
That's terrible. Now, it was fun, but, you don't need that. Now, this is a player, again, who's in Origin contention, who's throwing no-look passes and blowing tries. Now this. Doesn't look real good.
No, it doesn't. Now, not a good look either. During half-time of the Dragons-Knights game, the reports were coming in that Kalen Ponga's contract was pulled.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward to the post-game conference, they asked Adam O'Brien and Kalen Ponga, and the week before when they asked him about it, Ponga and O'Brien got up and walked out. This time he turned around and said at breakfast, Adam O'Brien's response was at breakfast, we're apparently chasing Cam Munster. He doesn't know anything about it. What it sounds like is the Knights have got the dirts with Ponga's dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Now, look, it's worth pointing out that Kalen Ponga has a 2-year player option. And if he says it's on, it's on. There's nothing Newcastle can do about it. They signed the agreement. I still believe Newcastle are 100% behind Ponga. But as you said, they got the dirts with the dad. They want him out of it. And if any young players are watching, as we know you are, your parents shouldn't represent you. There's too much emotion. Get a professional manager. Look, to call them people is, right up there. But get a manager. Just get your dad out of it, sign your big contract, or go to the Dolphins.
Luke Lewis represented himself his entire career, and all he ever did was ask his mum for advice. Now, it's good asking your parents for advice. I think it would be great if we abolished player managers and all the players represented themselves. That would be fantastic for mine, but... it came down to the Knights wanted to announce it, but his dad didn't want to announce it yet. And that sounds like we're waiting for Wayne Bennett and the Dolphins to come back.
That's definite nitpicking to hold up. Yeah.
Now, the other thing that, if the Knights are chasing Cam Munster, I can't see Cam Munster going to Newcastle.
No, so everyone, this bothered me on the weekend. Everyone on Twitter and social media said, oh, look, Ponga's money's available. Cool, let's get Cam Munster. What in the world makes you think Cam Munster's going to go, I'm going to go speak to Newcastle. They're going to win a title. Are you kidding me? He can go to the Dolphins and earn a ton of money with a fresh squad and a coach who's won 1,000 premierships, or come to a team like Cronulla or something, or go there.
But he's also going to go to the Dolphins where all his teammates have gone.
Yeah, exactly. It's like them. Now, they're going to need some players around it. But again, you've got a decent coach. Why would he go to Newcastle? He may go there. It's not beyond the realms.
If he goes to Newcastle, Cam Munster is literally down tools when I got a couple of premierships.
Yes. A couple of mil, let's do it.
Yeah.
Players of that quality don't go to teams like Newcastle.
No,
that's going to make me popular.
That is. Now, the replacement for Latrell Mitchell, it hypes up.
Time.
Brad Fittler has come out and said a couple of names.
Yeah, he has. Bradman Best.
No.
Zach Lomax.
Possibly.
Matt Burton.
Yeah, Matt Burton's a good shout.
Matt Burton's a great shout.
I would say no, though, on his current form, doesn't deserve it. Because Kyle Flanagan has got more try assists than Matt Burton.
That's absolutely right. But we saw what he can do in the centres. Now, a name you threw out early in the group chat when I made these comments, and you were like, what are you talking about? And I was quick to distance myself because I didn't say this. This is Freddie Fittler.
Has Stephen Crichton died?
He's been fantastic.
Can someone check on Stephen Crichton? He is the best defensive centre in the game. He runs hard. He's 6'2" tall. He is built for Origin.
Yes, he is. The other name is Tony Staggs, who was also named by Fittler. Based on the last 2 weeks and 2 weeks alone, I think Katoni walks in. It's the preceding few weeks I have an issue with.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, Tony Staggs has played really well, but his team's lost 40-12. So has he really done enough? He's got a couple of highlights there, but no match-winning moments where, Steve Crichton's a match winner. Just check the grand final. Look,
that's true. Look, it's going to be interesting. There's plenty of players there. Latrell may or may not be fit by Origin 1. Don't think it's going to matter, though, just quietly.
No, I don't think it's going to matter either.
Now, Terry, I want to bring something up that I noticed that seems to be missed in the mainstream media, who we don't like, just quietly. Nelson Asafa-Solomona, biggest, toughest bloke in the world, raises the elbow every time he runs the ball. Now, two lines of thinking. One, you got every right to protect yourself, but two, when you're 9'6" and you raise your elbow, you're going to cop blokes in the throat, which we saw when we lost Dale Finucane by HIA in the first tackle he made.
Yeah, look, unfortunate for Dale. I don't think Nelson had any intent. As you said, he's got every right to protect himself. James Graham was the person who brought this to the NRL when he came from St Helens. And he was running, obviously he had Vaseline on his legs and that was a quick no-no, but he was the one that brought the forearms and raised. It's a running style. You play in the forwards. That's what you're going to get. It was unfortunate. The biggest issue that I have for that is Dale Finucane passed his HIA, but a guy in Sydney told him he couldn't play anymore.
That is ridiculous, and there'll be much more to be said about that.
Mm-hmm.
Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
It's highlight, low light time. It's been a good week.
We obviously know what the highlight is.
What is the highlight?
Jackson Hastings' 40-metre field goal to win the Tigers.
Had to be. You know it was a one-pointer.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really?
Legitimately, I went on NRL.com after because the Tigers post, they won by 1. I was like, they didn't even get the score right. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, they did.
Yeah, okay. Well, he kicked it from a long way.
He certainly did.
It was a great strike too. I thought Moses had iced the game with his field goal attempt, and the people behind the stands went mental. It wasn't until on replay I had a look, that was the Tigers, mate.
Yeah, totally. Look, not clutch for Mitch Moses.
No, not clutch from Mitchie either, but we missed a couple of goal kicks, so did Luke Brooks as well, but finally we can stop hearing about the Tigers being so bad, and you and I can go back to kicking the out of them.
Look, yes, we can. Look, yeah, we can, because it's when they win, it's all right.
Yeah. What's the low light, Dan?
Low light for me. Now, look, I'm loath to talk about this because it's not a good look, but the refereeing this week was disgusting. Now, not the on-field refereeing. 50-50 calls, it's going to happen. Whatever, that's what the Captain's Challenge is there is for. I don't mind when a referee makes a decision that is incorrect, if it's not too bad. The problem I have is the bunker. Mm-hmm. The hip drop we spoke about before is the worst decision I've seen all week. Mm-hmm. That was a bunker call.
Yep.
There were others this week that have got me frustrated beyond belief. Games change on these decisions. Now, I'm not one to support the Bulldogs under any circumstance. They had a player sent to the bin. Game changed. South ran in 3 tries, and then it was game over. That happened 15 times during the game. Why? Why is a referee making that decision? Now, it might have been a Sutton, which would explain a lot, but I'm just saying the standard refereeing, there is a problem there, and it's okay to address it. I'm not saying that they're doing it on purpose, I'm just saying they're not very good.
What the thing for mine with the bunker is, if the referee missed it, the bunker was only allowed to rule on it if it was serious foul play or a reportable offence. Now, 90% of the time, you know, the referees do miss the crusher tackles and the arms when they're falling to the ground. And I get that, right? But how the bunker could look at Cam McInnes' tackle on Ryan Pappenhausen and go, he needs to go on report for that, that's disgraceful. And I know the Nathan Cleary thing probably was in the back of everyone's mind, but get some common sense.
Just
that
disgusting.
The on-field refereeing, our mate Toddy Smith, he's clear.
Clearly the best ref.
He's clear of everyone, but
checks his ego at the door, just talks to the players like they're people, not, come over here, Cam Monster, I've got to have a word with you.
Yeah. I really like Todd Smith. Let's get more Todd Smiths.
Less Suttons.
Less Jerry Suttons. Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
It's time to talk some black, white and blue.
Now, mate, look, coming off a loss, I'm usually not the easiest person in the world to get along with.
Yeah, normally you have the black, white and blues, but not this week.
No, I'm not that worried.
I'm not that worried as well. We went down to Amy Park. We gave it a red hot crack.
We did. Now, we said last week that Cronulla need everything to go right to beat the Storm, which I think is fair. Now, before the game, Nakora, COVID protocol's out. Katoa's injured. There's 2 weaknesses. We had a player out of position in McInnes that they scored two tries through. And Hiroti, you know, for all the grief I give him, isn't Sione Katoa.
No.
Probably cost us 2 or 3 tries. There's your difference right there and then.
Sione Katoa, on form, on the numbers, on the stats, is the form winger of the competition, not named Talon.
Yeah, 100%. Now, to miss him... Now,
he ices 2 of those tries.
He does. Look, and defensively, I think Hiroti rushed out, which, again, look, I give him a lot of grief and he deserves a lot of it, but it is his first game of the year.
Yeah. Katoa also passed that border running.
Spot on. Now, I want to take a moment because a lot of people have come out and really given it to Sir Fitz, which is just dumb, for picking Hiroti. Now, look, I didn't agree with it, and I still don't. There's a player who we'll mention in a minute. But these guys that were up for selection are the young kids on debut in Melbourne, sold-out crowd on a Saturday night pressure cooker. You probably go Hiroti. Yeah,
you got to go Hiroti, and that's it. You can't give a debut down there in Amy Park. If that's at Shark Park, I'm throwing a debut, and I know you're going to talk about Janai Lualua.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing the debut at home.
Absolutely at home.
We saw when we gave Ronaldo that debut in Brisbane.
Worst game of all time.
Yeah. So, and like, Lualua's in some really, really good form for Newtown as well. But yeah, you don't want to go down there. It's a big game. We wanted to see where we're at. Could we put Lockie Miller on the wing? I don't know.
My thinking was yes, and I thought they were going to up until late, because the talk was that Lockie was on his way to play for Newtown and got the call, hey, get your gear, get to the station, we got to go. Now, shout out to the Sharks bus, because Royce Hunt and that bus.
Yeah. Now, there's...
Ever seen him in the same room, Terry?
No, I haven't, but... there was the whole reason that Lockie Miller was pulled is there was potentially another Shark. From what I understand, there's potentially another Sharks player who may have missed the game. But yeah, could you have put him on the wing? I don't know. Would he have done any better than Hiroti? Defensively, we don't know. We haven't seen enough.
It's hard to say. It is really hard to say. Now, look, I'm hoping to see Lockie Miller in the Shark uniform sooner than later. But when it comes, it comes.
Yeah, I think that I'm not too worried about it. We said, if we went down there and put in a good performance, we did put in a good performance. It was our best completion rate of the year. Unfortunately, defensively, we were a little bit lackadaisical. Cam McInnes was completely out of position. Britt Nakora doesn't miss those tackles. Yeah, I'm happy with it. If Nico had iced those the two goal kicks that he missed and it's 34-22, I'm probably walking away. There's a lot you can take out of that game. The Harry Grant try, I could live without that as well. That was so soft. It took some Cameron Munster brilliance to beat us, because for a long point in that game we were on top, and even when we were behind, you saw how quickly we got momentum back and we were able to score tries.
Look, I 100% agree. Now, of course, Dale Finucane went off very, very early with the HA.
That's another thing, yeah.
Completely destroyed our forward rotation. Jack Williams had to play more minutes than we probably would otherwise have hoped. As you said, I'm happy enough. Don't get me wrong, conceding 34 points is never okay. You saw Sir Fitz in the sheds after the game. He was laying down the law, wasn't yelling, which I really have to point out, because some lesser coaches just go in and yell.
And tear shreds.
Doesn't get through. He went in and made it very, very certain that wasn't good enough.
No.
But also, a lot went against us. We were down a few players late, lost Finucane, a pretty good effort.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not too worried about that. There's so much positives that you can take out of it, in the fact that our ball control is there.
Really good.
And that, had we had Katoa and Nakora, where that
we're
right
edge,
in that
game.
They can't take it. Now, speaking of Britt Nakora.
Rumours are, reports are that
all the reports last week was that Britt Nakora was taking our offer. So this week,
he's come out and said, I have to look after my family, which is completely fair. I'm never going to go hard on a player, but if you go to the Tigers, they're celebrating their first win in 25 games.
Yeah.
And they're celebrating like it's grand final. That shows where the club's at. And I'm not bagging the Tigers. I'd be doing the same if I was in their spot. That's what Nakora needs to weigh up here. The Sharks are in a spot where they look like they're going to make the finals for the next few seasons, unless a lot goes wrong. Got a lot of money off contract. There's a lot of players linked. We've got everything in place now. This is a team that's ready to win the title in the next few years. Does Nakora want to be a part of that, or does he want to cash in, play for the Tigers?
Well, this is the thing as well. Two parts on that. I read the article. It was a poorly written article, and it said that Cronulla are about to lose Britt Nakora due to salary cap. Now, we got Andrew Feeder on $850,000, Wade Graham on $750,000. Matt Moylan's contract's not there anymore. Britt Nakora was re-signed after his debut. Pretty handy. We've got over $2 million there. We ain't going to lose Britt Nakora because of salary cap. We're going to lose Britt Nakora because the Tigers are going to offer him more money. That's the difference on there. We value Britt Nakora at X amount of dollars, and the Tigers have thrown 20% on top of that. Now, Sir Fitz is probably not going to pay that, nor do I blame him on there. The other thing that Britt Nakora needs to have a look at as well is the Tigers have signed a guy named Isaiah Papali'i. You may have heard of him. Right edge back rower.
Who you go there? Exactly right. Now, with you going back to the valuation, it's how good clubs are made.
Yep.
You place a value on a player and you get as close to as possible. You don't see Melbourne say, Hoffman when they had salary cap issues.
Tohu Harris.
They're players that are good, fantastic even, but they're valued at a certain thing. I don't want to be paying an outside back rower the better part of $1 million with Cam Munster off contract and players. Reece Walsh's off contract too. Don't forget, these are sort of players that will complement us and take us to a title rather than an edge back row. And we got Teague Wilton and Sif Talakai. And
we've got good juniors coming through as well. Our New South Wales Cup team, they had a bit of a blemish on the weekend, but we've got great players down there. You're absolutely right. You wouldn't see the Roosters sitting there haggling and going, and look at what Melbourne have done to Cam Munster. They've said, well, yes, you're probably worth $1 million. on the open market, but to us, this is where you're at.
Mate, now going back to Sif Talakai, we made the error, the egregious error of suggesting that maybe him playing in the centres wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
Sorry, shouldn't have done that. He's been fantastic. And now there are even calls to move him there full time. Not sure I agree with that, but I can see an argument.
Looking at the team on the weekend and looking at the players that are coming back, I can see an argument for it, because you need to get your best 17 out on the field. You need to get your best 13 starting, and he's one of our best 13 at the moment.
He's definitely one of our best 13. But if Nakora does sign for the Tigers, I bet he falls down that pecking order real quick. And who's the one that's going to step in?
Sif Talakai.
Talakai.
Big game Thursday night against Manly at Shark Park.
Bounce back game. We go in big favourites, which for the first time ever against Manly.
Yeah, Manly.
Probably not true, but
Yeah, Manly decimated by injuries. Cronulla got a few injuries as well. Is Dale Finucane. Now, because Dale Finucane was ruled out by the bunker, he didn't actually fail his HIA test. He has to get through 3 days of concussion protocols. Should do that. There's some other injury clouds there as well. Braden Hamlin-Ueli, we didn't talk about him.
that's a real problem.
Yeah, that's a real problem as well. But if Dale is cleared to play, we see him in the front row with Toby. Cam McInnes comes in at lock. Britton Nakora will be back. Don't know if Sione Katoa will. Has Moini Harodi done enough to keep his job? Probably not. This I might give Janai Lualua the debut, or even Jensen.
Look, yeah, the opportunity's there this week, and if Katoa can't back up, I'm definitely going the debut.
The other thing as well, for if we're going to have a player on the bench like Braden Trindle for 10 minutes, let him play in Newtown, because that is made, the 10 minutes is made for a sparky, quick player. That's Lockie Miller.
Yes, I agree.
You can't have Braden Trindle pulled from the Jets. Like, he needs to be there for if there's an injury to Moylan, if Nico Hines is playing in Origin, if something happens. Trindle is not the 10-minute player. That's Lockie Miller.
Look, now this week, it's going to work out that we can do that. Trindle can stay in the squad and get dropped out at the last with an hour to go. Hoping no injuries happen, of course. Because Newtown play on the Saturday, we play Thursday.
Yep.
So we can name the squad. The Jets can name whatever they want and pull up all the players that didn't play late. So hopefully that includes your Jack Williams and your Braden Trindles. Beer Footy Food Festival, of course, this Saturday. Cannot wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we play Manly there too. Blacktown Workers, I think, to be exact. But look, I'm 100% sure we'll see Trindle named. Whether or not he plays, I'm leaning towards that he'll play for Newtown.
Yeah, give Lockie Miller the debut, Fitz. Dan,
Talk to me, Terry.
it's time for some top sport tips.
Your beauty. How'd we go last week?
Perfect round between us.
Absolutely perfect. Thanks to Rooks, gave me the tips.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you get in touch with Cheryl at Rooks Entertainment as well if you want to keep mugging off top sports,
Yeah,
because
good
we
mates.
do it every week.
Yeah, good mates at Top
Yeah,
Sport.
great mates at top sports.
Love them.
Now, what we do love, Dan, is we love a Thursday night footy at Shark Park.
Looks good to get the main event out of the way early. Cronulla go in as humongous favourites, which is risky
Bit odd.
at best. But look, I've been tipping against the Sharks all year, putting the jinx on the opposition.
I'm going to take the jinx this week, Dan.
Take the jinx.
I'm going to take the jinx.
You gonna tip
jinx.
Manly? I'm going to tip Cronulla. I'm feeling good about this week.
I'm going Manly.
Fair enough, dude. Game of the round. Cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm feeling some Daily Cherry Evans. Loves tormenting us at Shark Park.
Look, he does. Are you feeling a Shark debut, perhaps?
Yeah, I'm feeling a couple of Shark debuts, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Interesting.
Friday night, we only have one game. We got rid of that abysmal 6 p.m. time slot for 1 week.
I'm going to miss it.
And they reward us with the Broncos and the Dogs. Bring back the 6 p.m. time slot, please.
Oh, neither team played all that well this week. Plenty of improvement, etc., etc.
The Dogs are last now, and you're tipping them.
Bulldogs, I guess.
I've gone the Broncos.
Flano.
Yeah, look, it begs the question.
What are you thinking?
Why wasn't he there all year?
He's by far their best half because he's got a kicking game. He can run the ball and he can tackle. The three things you need to do to play rugby league.
And he's got more try assists than Matt Burton.
There you go.
5:30, we have
Game of
the
the round?
second game of the illustrious 4X Cup.
The L4X Cup.
Yeah. Now the Cowboys, winners in round one against the Broncos in this competition.
Take the early lead, yeah.
Yeah, they've got the early lead. They come up against the Titans in North Queensland.
Ooh.
Not enough for me to tip the Cowboys. I know they're in patchy form. 3 from 6, playing okay. They look really good with Scott Drinkwater at the back. What do they do when Hammer comes in, Dan? Do they just move him into the centres? I think you have to.
Have to, 100%.
I am going to tip the Titans in this game, though.
Look, I'm going to tip the Titans. I've tipped them like 6 weeks in a row and they've won a couple, so we'll stick with it.
Yeah.
This is the battle of the game with the underperforming halfbacks, I think it's fair to say. One of them I love giving a bit of grief to, but Toby Sexton, probably not living up to the hype, let his team down when they really needed him on the weekend. Despite that, though, I'm going to tip a Titans victory here.
Yeah, I'm going to tip the Titans as well. They got too much for the Cowboys.
David Fafita, he's done 2 things in 2 weeks. Now they've made the highlight reel. So if he can do that twice a game, that'd be nice.
The 7:30 game is the fresh off match-winning West Tigers up against the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
2 in a row.
Yeah. Now, South Sydney, the loss of Latrell Mitchell brings them back to the pack.
It does.
Gives the Tigers a sniff here. Cam Murray, though, is way too good to allow this Rabbitohs team to lose to the Tigers. I'm going to tip Souths here in a close game.
Look, I'm going to tip
Hopefully
South.
it involves Luke Brooks running the length of the field again, only for the try to be overturned.
That was Flouter at its greatest. I'm going to tip South quite convincingly here. I think they're ready for a bounce back. They won big on the weekend or Friday. I don't think they played that well. We haven't seen that stereotypical South performance yet. I'm going to say Cody Walker comes good.
Yeah, look, Blake Taft back to fullback, Lachlan Elias in the team as well.
Your boy, Damo Cook, runs in a hat of your tries.
Yeah, I know. Somehow doesn't score the most points in Supercoach. I don't know how that happens as well. But Cam Murray, man of the match in this game for me.
Absolutely agreed.
Sunday afternoon footy, Knights versus the Eels. I have been suckered in by the Knights this year. I believed their fans' hype when they told me that they could push into the top 4. They're now pushing the door for the bottom 4, and unfortunately for them, after that disgraceful performance against the Dragons, they come up against the Eels, who are going to look to bounce back and put 20 on them.
Oh, the Eels are going to be annoyed. No one wants to lose to the Tigers. Now, we give them grief, but this is a team that hasn't won a football game in a long, long time. No one wants to lose. They'll be getting hammered all week by me and Terry, and they'll come out firing. I think they do the number on this Newcastle team.
Yeah, Paulo back this week. Some injuries happened for the Eels, but one thing that the Eels cannot do is they cannot select Mitch Rain again. There is no need for Reid Mahoney to come off the field.
No, they fell apart when he came off. He made a quick break, lost the ball, and the Tigers went up and almost won the game. There was no, as you said, there was no reason. Reid Mahoney's an 80-minute football player. Justifying his selection, just ridiculous stuff. Couldn't agree more.
Reid Mahoney is the second best hooker in the competition at the moment on form. Harry Grant, Reid Mahoney, Blake Brayley, Damien Cook. That's the order. I don't want to hear anything else. Coruscant's been indifferent.
Yeah.
That's the order of it now. You don't take him off for Mitch Rain.
No,
ever.
you don't. Under any circumstances. I don't care if he's on one leg. Even no legs, you leave him out there.
I'm tipping the Eels in a canner in this one. Speaking of a canner, Panthers versus Raiders.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
This Penrith side is scary good. I hate it.
Yeah. The thing is, we were making the joke about when do the Tigers win a game, but the serious question is when do Penrith lose a game?
Look, they have the Eels and the Storm coming up. If they get through those, they're going through undefeated. And I'm not.
Origin will affect them.
I don't care about Origin. I think they're that good. They'll win most of their games through Origin.
Last year when they had the Origin period, they still had Matt Burton there to guide them around. They got Sean O'Sullivan.
They rested players last year, though, because of the Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday format. And, okay, they dropped a couple of games, but they still won the premiership, so it worked out really well for them.
I think they'll do that again.
Yeah, look, me too, but it won't be this week. This Canberra side are disgusting. Ricky Stewart's got a lot to answer for, and this standing up in the press conference and saying it's everyone else's fault except mine has to stop. It
does, yeah. The Raiders aren't going to trouble.
No, they're not making
I'll be surprised if they trouble the scoreboard attendant, let alone the Panthers.
Oh, yeah, this is 30-0.
Monday afternoon footy. Now, this is one of my favourite games of the year. I love Anzac Day. It's my favourite public holiday of the year. It's a chance just to remember what this country's about, what we fought for. But it's also this game, the Dragons and the Roosters. It's not a big rivalry, but it's just a fun game.
It doesn't need to be. This game is always superb. You know, you get the odd blowout, but that happens in any fixture. This is the sort of game where form goes out the window. Yep. The best team on the day wins. It sounds obvious, but that's the way this one falls. I can't wait for this. Monday afternoon. Now, the forecast is a little bit negative. Don't care. It's not going to put a dampen on spirits. Get out there, support the game if it's not already a sellout. I think the Chooks get home here, but the Dragons showed a bit on the weekend.
I think the Dragons show that they've got something there. Is it enough to trouble the Roosters? I don't think so. I think the Roosters are going to come up with a very, very handy win in the end. It'll be like the Storm Cronulla game. The scoreline's comfortable. The game was close.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's good. It's good.
You watch it be like 50-0.
Yeah, it's going to be a flogging now.
And now the other Anzac game, Dan, is the Storm versus the Warriors. Now this is a traditional game that has no right to have any meaning whatsoever, apart from the fact that we've got our New Zealand brothers in for this game, and it's fun.
It is.
These two teams kill each other in
the game
this.
I'm looking most forward to.
Yeah.
These two forward packs going to get their angry pills in. There will be a murder.
Yeah, and now that the Bromwich brothers got a week off, they didn't have to. They didn't have to
go through
face Cronulla, and now they're going to be fresh. I'm really looking forward to this. Again, I think it's going to be one of them games that Melbourne love being in, where the scoreline says 40-18, but they ran in a couple of late tries.
I'm looking forward to Aden Fanua-Blake, Nelson Asaf Solomona. Kaboom! Storm for me.
Yeah, Storm 13+. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by Punctured Media, our great friends at Top Sports, onelittlefootyfan.com.au, the Stubby Club, and Rooks Entertainment.
That's a lot of sponsors.
That's a lot of sponsors for this
Love
show.
them all.
Make sure you like and subscribe, get involved, email Cheryl at Rooks Entertainment to get all your tips in there to mug Top Sports off. And Dan?
Rugby League, baby!